Is the music? Is it the music that we're in a very like a swarmy kind of menacing, creeping? What a mood we have. I believe the parlance of the modern youths say big mood. Do I have that correct? Can anyone out there, is there a modern youth that can confirm that this would in fact be a quote unquote big mood? Big mood, says Oro. There is indeed a mood of some grandeur, as they say. Well, Pneumonica, you must understand. Thank you for confirming the information from the modern youths. It's good to even hear from a peer that has also heard on his own independent accord that there is indeed a mood of some grandeur. I can sleep well at night knowing that my parlance is on par. You understand the reference? Yes. Oh, what is it? Good news, everyone! So we're talking about turning into rat swarms, twinning spells, having ratception, barbecues, big moods, modern parlance. This, dare I say that this is what a table of D&D players is all about. This is Dungeons and Dragons, where we will hem and haw over rules. We'll look at errata. I guess in context, errata, rats, errata, ratatouille. And we'll look at official sources, and even after getting official sources, we'll say, well, still, and then come up with a completely awesome, cool idea. Pardon. And where we accept the official ruling in one location, we say, this is fun, let's just play with this other one. This is D&D, my friends. And I appreciate you being here and being a part of it and exploring it. It's not ratatouille, it's ratatales. Well, Gracie, I mean, there is plenty of that, especially around a character from Final Fantasy IX and a particular ninja from Magic the Gathering. I'm just gonna leave that there and just go, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Keep making puns like that and I'll have to revoke your creative license. How dare you? Sir? How dare you threaten my creative license? I had to apply for a license for my license. And do you know how hard that is? Nicest pancake. Thank you for the subtle backup on that. Hey, you know, Gracie, we all have the things that we like. We all have the things that we like. And that gets us passionate and makes our Kokoros go doki doki. Oh no, wait, canceling for the year? Why canceling for the year? Pneumonica, as a lawyer, I can confirm. He's gone British, folks. Polymorph, a swarm of insects, just all sorts mixed in there. Oh no, Clicker, what happened? Clicker, we're friends. Come on, bring it in. What happened? How can we cheer you up? Pausing an indoor game when isolation is advised sounds counterintuitive. After FOV, I had to apply for a license for my my pet Eric the Half-Bee. Yeah, Nicest Pancake is advocating be one with your spells. Let them flow through you. Be your spell. Your 401k, is that what you're talking about, Clicker? Too much wine, says Gracie. One of them is high risk, so 10% fatality rate. I get when I wanted to risk it, the other group, I think it's overreaction. Clicker, your cat's been sick for a week. The vet told me yesterday we had to put him down, so I went there and said goodbye. Clicker, you are not alone in that, and I'll tell you, it is tough, and it breaks your heart. But if you were there with your buddy in that time, that is the best ending to the worst case of something happening. And Clicker, I mean, you take the time that you need to think, to reflect, to look at old pictures, or do what you got to do with any like toys or something left over. There is no shame in shedding tears over a pet, which is a family member. But Clicker, if you were there during it, not only were you making an informed decision that was for the benefit of your pet, but you also were there in those final moments. And in those moments, when, cats and others might not like being taken out in the car or go to the vet, even if they're sick, or whatever this case was, you were still a presence in your cat's life for as long as your cat had it. And you can look back on all the time that you spent with your buddy. And it hurts right now, but you made a difference in that cat's life. You gave that cat shelter and food and affection and toys and just time out of your life. And if you can look back and cry because it's good, because they were good times, or that you received affection in return when your cat sensed out that you were stressed, then that's a good sign. That's good healing. Those are good tears to have. Because you weren't perfect. No one is. But you were the person that cat needed in order to have the best life for as long as your cat had it. And I hope that you feel proud. You don't have to brag, oh, well, I had to put my cat down, so I did it, everyone. You made a hard choice, and you made a choice that was advised by, you made a choice that was advised by a professional. You made a choice for yourself, and you made a choice for this little life that spent its time with you and that needed you to make that choice. Otherwise, it couldn't make it itself, and it would only languish with its injury or its illness, maybe confused and scared for a lot longer than what you were able to humanely offer it. And so, Clicker, I mean, to pay it forward when you have processed what has happened. And I'm not saying this, you may know all this, and so please don't take this as I'm patronizing you. I'm not patronizing you or treating you like a child. This is advice from a friend to a friend, from someone. When I first started broadcasting, for any of you who are here, you might remember Miss Sophie. In fact, I have a very dear clip of her that I was able to save, and you could see her on stream, and not but 4 months into broadcasting because she was at an age. She needed to have the same thing done. But I'll tell you, Clicker, when you are in a spot for it, you can always pay it forward. And I don't know if you're going to like keep her ashes, or if you're going to keep her or him and offer a burial, or what happens where, you know, you're given your circumstances. Regardless of that, be proud of the time you spent with your pet, and when you are ready, save another life. Go to a local shelter. You know, go to you know, wherever it is that you could go to. You know, if it's a pet store, a lot of pet stores for cats and dogs may actually just be extensions of shelters or pounds. So it's up to you. But if you can go and find, you know, and find a new buddy, you know, maybe a cat that's hard up, maybe a cat like Nisa that you see on the channel here. She was the runt of her litter. And I knew that there's probably a lower chance that she would be adopted because she was the smallest one. And I adopted her, and even I took an extra step. Oh, Faded Ash, thank you for the follow. When she was adopted, there was another cat that I had thought about adopting, and his name at the shelter was Beaver. He was born with one eye. So, I mean, it wasn't like gross or anything. It wasn't like weepy. It wasn't a ruinous infected thing. It's just he was born with one eye. And it would have been more difficult. He was also already 2 years old. He wasn't a kitten. And so what I did was, after I adopted Nisa, whose name was Triss, at the shelter, and then renamed, I paid it forward, and because I knew it could be more difficult for Beaver to find a home, because he was already 2 and he was born with one eye. He was a beautiful, great cat, very social. But I wanted to give the little one a chance because I already had the 2 at home, and I wanted that maximum adjustment from a kitten and not just another male cat, a grown male cat. So I paid Beaver's adoption fee forward, and it was about 2 weeks later. So I mean, I already had Nisa. She was learning the house and everything. I get a call from the Humane Society, and they said that someone had come in, and they didn't tell this person that the adoption was already paid for, because they want to know they would want to know the person wants to pay and has the ability to pay the adoption fee. After the check was done, the lady was told that his adoption fee was already paid for as a gift, and that she was very grateful, and she had some tears in her eyes, and she still paid the adoption fee that paid forward to another cat that would have been at a disadvantage to be adopted because of size or having 3 legs or whatever else. And so, from a tragic event, Clicker, you know, we have this time, and you got to take your time. You think about it, reflect, make those, you know, think about those beautiful memories. And when you're ready, there's another life out there that you can make a difference in, and that can help make a difference in you. And it'll never be the experience you had with that other cat, and it never should be, because that was your 2's experience. But you will get a new and different experience with this other friend. And if you decide to pay it forward as well, in some way, I mean, just adopting itself is paying it forward. You don't have to go, you don't have to dig super deep in your pocket and continue, other things. But then you can go on and make these differences in other lives. And, it can help take the sadness of the loss away. I'm never going to tell it's going to replace the loss, because then that would mean that you didn't have a meaningful interaction. But it can help alleviate the sadness associated with that loss. I have 4 cats, and I've raised all of them from kittenhood, literally from birth, for 3 of them, and I don't think I'll be okay when they die. Well, Pancake, enjoy the time that you have, make memories, take photos, because, I mean, the day comes for us all, cats and humans and doggos, and, you know, when that day happens, you're going to have to step up and be the person that those cats need in those twilight hours. And you have to be the nicest pancake to them. And it'll hurt, and you're going to cry, and that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too, but, you know, just, you have my permission to cry, there. I have a big boy named Nova, and he just got really sick once, and I just about had a panic attack, and he still came to lay with me. Well, again, make those memories, Pancake, and appreciate the time that you have now, so that later in life you can appreciate those times with others in other ways, be they other cats or humans or whomever else, and that you can form new experiences, like with Fluffy Sheep. It's true, big fluffy puff, Flig Buffy Puppy apparently is I'm on gnome names here. Big Fluffy Puppy is so different from my old Micro Fluffy Puppy, and Little Fluffy Puppy is so different from Big. Oh no, jeez, I don't want to bring the mood down. Oh, let's make a D&D character, everyone. And you know what? Let's draw on this. Let's draw on our experiences and our emotions.
Many fall in the face of chaos, but not this one. Not today.
Custos, thank you for the host very much. But if this character ends up, you know, we have some sort of inspiration or something for it, let's draw on this. Characters can be made out of memories like this too. Memories of loss or even of joy. Of just everything we've talked about. This is all D&D. I mean, I was kidding. It's D&D too about, you know, rules, interactions, and all this. Everything that we've done, everything that we've talked about, this is still a part of D&D because we draw on our life experiences to portray our characters, to explore things through those characters. Or as a DM, to make a world come to life where, you know, if you know your players love cats, and you have them roll up to a village that looks abandoned, and you're describing the scene not just as abandoned houses that are empty, okay, that's, you know, kind of spooky. But if you get into detail, even if it breaks your heart, where you say, it looks like whoever rolled through here left no one alive. Not men, not women, not children. Even the stray cats are dead in the streets from the marauders that had come through. We're hitting on these things that are these emotional points. You want to convey that the people who came through here, you know, weren't just you know, average villain where, okay, you know, they defeated me, and no, like, we're talking. It wasn't even just people. Like, we're talking that purely the innocence of pets were even put out. I mean, the raiders were so spiteful. They took the goldfish bowl from the farming hut after destroying the family, and even threw the goldfish out in the street. It was so petty or vengeful or cruel was their rampage. And so you can draw on this and use it, and don't be afraid to do that. It can make a strong point. It can make your world and your characters come alive. Yet, know your players. Well, it's... As the Dungeon Master, you are playing villains. You're playing diseases. Diseases that don't even have... that don't play favorites. I mean, you are the destroyer of worlds. You also do wonderful and great stuff. So, you know, if you get to know your players, then, you know, there are things that can be brought up in certain ways. Or if you have to, if there are things that you cannot talk about, then, you know, you can respectfully observe that. Yeah, they even stabbed the teddy bears in front of the children who loved them. So. Oh, after Fov. Oh, that's a very interesting story you shared. And it's very heartfelt, too. Can't say it'll do much since I don't think anyone actually watches my channel, but hopefully someone will chance upon it and come over. Custos, every little bit helps, and thank you very much for that. Every bit helps. And I'm sorry if I missed anything else here. Well, you know what? Let's take this. We have an energy. Whether this energy is dark or light, or it's about friends and family and good times, or, you know, or it's about food poisoning, nicest pancake, or it's about the somber moments. You know, it's about these real moments that Clicker shared with us and the rest of you talked about, or the moments that you were talking about with your characters even prior before that. Let's get this, see all this energy? Hang on. We have big brain energy. I would love all of you, if you have the emote, and even if you have to rent it with some inspiration, let's get our big brain energy in chat. Let's make a character and explore the ideas that we have in our heads, the feelings that are swirling around around us here. And I'm sorry, the bot will, if you do too many, the bot will not like it. Yeah, there we go. I'm sorry. We have huge brain energy, but the robots are after us, so I guess you should keep it to, like, I don't know, 5 or 6. All right, yes, we did have some reserved roles. And let's begin. Let's begin as Custos. You are going to roll for the sex of our character. So go ahead and roll a D100 in chat. Find out if we have a female character, a male character, or there's a 10% chance we have a multi-class character, in which case we'll come back and roll a 1 to 50 or 51. Well, actually, I don't know. We could multi-class. Well, at level 4, we might not be able to. But I don't know. We'll see. Let the dice fly. Custos, take it away. Let's see. Class, background. The only other reserved roles are class and background. Kung Fu is in for a whatever role, but specifically class or background is taken. Oh, in 99, we do have a multi-class character. Ooh. So I guess we're going to have 2 class roles. All right, Custos, go ahead and roll a D100 again, and let's see what we get. $55. All right. So we have a male character who's going to multi-class. And now for our character race, Lightning Dragon has locked that in. So Lightning Dragon, go ahead and roll a 50-sided die, please. Faded Ash says, if anyone wants some games, I'm starting a D&D Discord for people who want to DM or play as a character. Just let you know, Faded, if you want to put a link over to the games that you're searching for players, we have an area on our Discord called Looking for Group, and you can certainly make a post if you're looking for people to play, or even if you yourself are looking to play in a game. So check that out, and if you need the link to our Discord, Faded, !Discord will generate it for you. All right, Lightning Dragon, you roll a 43. Another Tortle? Oh my goodness. Another Tortle. This is getting kind of spoopy, everyone. We have a male Tortle, a medium-sized male Tortle who's going to be level 4. Possibly. Let's find out, because we do have the option of the dragon Tortle. And I believe what we had done was on a D12, we had split it. On a 1 through 6, it's a regular Tortle. And on a 7 through 12, it's a dragon Tortle. And so let's do this. Kung Fu, you were up for a whatever roll. Can you roll a D12 in chat and determine if we are, if we have another normal Tortle or a dragon Tortle? All right, so we do in fact have a regular Tortle. Now, has anyone? No one is locked in alignment, though Exhausted Dragon is up for something. Exhausted Dragon, let's get our character's alignment. And go ahead and roll a D100. A 48. Another neutral character. A true neutral character. All right. We know we're level 4. Now let's determine if we have ability score improvements or if we're going to take a feat. Although, honestly, if we're multi-classing, we're not even going to get the ability score improvement. So a feat isn't on the table. Because we would have to be level 4 to get it, though we would only be level 3 in one class and 1 in the other, or 2 and 2 perhaps, depending. Oh, that's fine if you want to get some predictions in after FOV. So we're going to skip over ability score because we're not even going to get that. Now we have our character background, and Bullet Club... Bullet Club had asked before Gracie, in the, did I bite my tongue? Ah. No damage. All right. So, Gracie, we can, if you want to move it to something else, we would still have the 2 personality traits or the ideal bond and flaw as roles. Age, height, weight, or specific age. Oh, Gracie can take it? Alright. Then, Gracie, I want you to roll a 78-sided die, and Bullet, let me know what you want instead. Ideal bond and flaw? Okay, so you'll get to do that shortly. So yeah, Gracie, I need you... Oh, we got a 48. An Izzet Engineer. Now, this doesn't have to take place on Ravnica, but we'll take the concept of an Izzet Engineer and apply it to this character. Let's actually find out if there's some special... Alright, yeah, there's no additional roll. So now... Bullet Club Puppet, I need you to type !roll space 3d6. And then Mnemonica, can I get you to roll 2d8 for the personality traits? Two and 4, and then Bullet is going to give us an ideal bond and flaw with a 3d6 roll. That's your cue, Bullet Club Puppet. Oh, alright. Something might have happened. To keep things moving along here. Bullet Club, I'll have to move you to something else. Bubonic, can you give me a 3d6 roll, please? Oh, there. I'm sorry, Bullet. I had to keep moving. I called on you to make the ideal bond and flaw, but we had to keep things moving along. So if there's something else you want to roll, Bullet Club, let me know. We'll have some subclasses and stuff, so you might be able to get in on that. All right, our primary class is going to be rolled by D Forgotten One. So D Forgotten One, can you roll a 13-sided die, please? Rolled a 9, so we are a ranger. We are a ranger, primarily. And then our specialization here is going to be determined by a D5 roll. So, Bullet, can you roll a D5 for this, please? Depending on what the subclass or the second class is, we may not even get the chance for a subclass for it. But go ahead and roll a D5 and let's find out what kind of a ranger we have. 1, a Beastmaster Ranger. Oh, speaking of things like sturges and rats. Okay, Custos is going for the secondary class role. And hello, Wildfire. Good evening or good morning to you, depending on whatever the case is. And so, Custos, will you give us a D13 roll, please? We roll a 10, so we are a Ranger Rogue. And we don't have enough levels yet to choose what kind of a rogue that we are. We just know that we have 1 level of Rogue. And with that roll, I'm off to bed. I got work in 3 hours. Bullet, thank you so much for being a part of the conversation and helping us create characters. We'll see you around. Oh, and Slaso, you got to go to work. All right, Slaso. Before we go, Slaso, get 1 roll in on this character. Can you roll a D4? Exclamation point roll space 1D4 for the fighting style of our ranger. Rolled a 1 archery. We are an archery ranger. And by the way, Arctic should be a natural explorer, but there's a little bug crawling around in here that put it in fighting style. Okay, we have a fighting style of archery. Yeah, we did. We did, Bubonic. You're off as an arrow. All right, Slaso, be well. All right, now at we're going to get a favored enemy and a favored terrain also at level 1 for our ranger. And so, TKG Wildfire, would you please roll a D14 in chat? Exclamation point roll space 1d14 to give us our favored enemy. Rolled a 2? Ah, so we're a Beastmaster, and our favorite enemies are beasts. And for Natural Explorer, Fluffy Sheep, will you please roll a D8? 1 will be Arctic, because it should be down there. Alright, so we got a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The forest. Well, who finds beasts in the forest? That's dumb. It would be grassland, but Arctic accidentally bumped up here, and that's the first terrain type. So that has to get worked out. Does that mean I have to kill my own pet bear because he's my favorite enemy? Well, look, Raz, what did we just talk about? If you love something, sometimes you gotta let it go. You know, veterinarians tend to have pets too, and despite the fact that they gotta, you know, help other people relieve the anguish in their own pets, doesn't mean that they also don't feel pain when it comes time for their own. So we might have. It is. I wonder if our personality is going to end up matching up along these lines too. But so yeah, we have someone who works with. You know, it's like if you're a rancher. If you're a rancher, I mean, you may not hate the cattle. You might even like keep cattle and they find them cute and adorable. It doesn't mean that you're not going to take them to market. Or that if a cow gets sick on your ranch, that you aren't gonna, you know, go and put it down because it's a mercy, and you also don't want it to spread to the others because it is a beneficent act. You might not hate cattle, you might get pretty tired of them after 10 or 20 years, but not hate them. Can you have a swarm of bees? There was actually a Swarm Keeper Ranger Unearthed Arcana. However, I don't believe, to bring it back to the discussion before, that a swarm of bees would count as a creature for the Beastmaster. You might talk to your DM and actually get it approved, though. Shade Mage says it's common for people that work in the veterinarian field to suffer from depression. Oh, so we have an insider in the industry. Thank you for sharing that, Shade. Shin, this is a player character. Though, I mean, Nicest Pancake's answer is correct. This is a player character we're making that is going to act as an NPC for the workshop that we're running. The Time Walking Beaver, hello. And thank you for joining us again for the first time in the future yesterday. All right, excellent. We have a lot of our ranger filled in. And so we have some new folks joining us and speaking up in chat. Shin Kishi, would you please type into chat ! Roll space 1D100 to let us know how old our Tortle is? Rolled a 38, and so we have an adult Tortle. And an adult Tortle and Time Walking Beaver, I'd like your help here. Can you please type ! Roll space 1D12 plus 15 to give us our age. We are 19 years old as an adult. Excellent. Next up, Nicest Pancake. I don't know if you've rolled on this character yet. Nicest Pancake, will you please roll 2d10? The other is an Ancient Tortle at 52, I think she was. Alright, so we're adding 3 inches to his height. He is 5'1". If all 4 characters stand next to each other, they're each going to be an inch shorter than the other. Now we're going to take that same number 3 and multiply it by the weight modifier for Tortles, which is 2d4. And let's see who else is here. Oh, Shade Mage. Shade Mage. Will you please roll 2d4 in chat for me? Actually, wait, we only got 3 inches? He's not 5'1". He's 4'11". Never mind. I've been so good at joking around with the Imperial math system here. I'm sorry, he's actually 4'11". Shame on me. So 3 times 6 is 18. So we have 388 pounds. 4'11" and 388 pounds. Yep, you did it just as it needed to be done. Thank you, Shade Mage. Okay. Now we have all of the... We have the constellation. The stars are aligned, but just like a planetarium, we need to put in the cool laser effects so that we can really see the details of the figures as they are floating through the sky above us. And to do this, we're now going to go through the process of discovering who our character is by beginning with the background. We are not going to see these filled in for a while. These numbers are some of the last things that we apply. So if any of you are new here, number 1, hi and welcome. Number 2, hopefully this intrigues you if you've not made characters like this before. Now, we have an Izzet engineer that is our background. And thank you very much, Time Walker. Now, this does not have to take place in Ravnica, but we're going to take inspiration. We're going to take inspiration from it to determine what kind of a character would have an equivalent of an Izzet background. Armed with an inventive intellect, a love of magical technology, and an unquenchable energy, you are an enthusiastic participant in the research work of the Izzet League. So again, your DM might modify things, say, well, we're not playing in Ravnica, but I'll open it up because I kind of like what it offers, or it as an option. We're going to get Arcana and Investigation as background, or as proficiencies. We're going to get to choose either Draconic, Goblin, or Vidalcan as an extra language. So as a Tortle, we can speak Common, Aquan. And then we get to choose one, Draconic, Goblin, or Vidalcan. And I suppose what I'm going to do is leave it... sorry. Draconic, Goblin, Vidalcan. I'm going to leave this as a floating choice along with the others, because when we have our roleplay sit down with our Dungeon Master, who's going to look over our character sheets, we can discuss the world and fill in some final details about the languages that we would know, because maybe Maybe this is a setting where goblins don't exist. And so if we take goblin, we'd have to replace it anyway. And so by keeping it open and discussing it, it could lead to more world building for everyone involved. Because your old beast, well, and that could be it too, Bubonic. As we can, but although that would arguably be off of the ability to get a language off of our favorite enemy. And so if your dungeon master allows for you to pick up a related language, even though beasts don't have a language necessarily themselves, you could ask perhaps for Sylvan from that. And, oh, hello to you as well, Kiro. Kiro the Wolf. We have all sorts of awoos in our community. And all of you awoos are always a welcome. Oh no, Fluffy Sheep's getting out of here. Well, Kiro, I hope that you are a kindly awoo. And that Fluffy Sheep will manage to graze his way back over here. Yeah, lots of wolves and sheep, a couple cats, some dragons, a pancake, and a sentient disease. I'd rather be an Aarakocra. Is that the bumper sticker on your car? This is actually a farming simulator. It is a menagerie. Death Angel, you're a part of the menagerie that is actually an extension of the SCP. Also, Pneumonica. You all get Pneumonica. Wildfire, well, you know, sometimes nature takes its course and wildfires are tragedies, but they also usher in an age of regrowth and nutrient and infuse the soil with nutrients. So wildfire, you are a natural disaster that is a necessity. All right, tool proficiencies. One type of artisan's tools. Now, interestingly enough, we can randomly determine this by going to Chapter 5, and there is a list of artisan's tools. And I don't know, maybe your DM has other ones. Though if we come down here, and also, I'm sorry, hi, Mom70s. Welcome. Kiro the Wolf. Would you please roll, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Kiro, will you please type exclamation point, roll, space, 1D17. Everyone, our dead mom is here to keep an eye on us and also to maybe give us some oatmeal raisin cookies. So everyone say hi to Mom and make sure that, you know, make sure she feels welcome. She's got to keep us in line. Hi, Mom. Cadbury walnut? Mom. You're still on a gaming high from session 0. You can't sleep. That's good, though, right, Evelyn? We might have lost Kiro the Wolf. That's fine. Mom70s, will you please type exclamation point roll space 1D17 for me? Rolled a 16, and so we are proficient with Weaver's tools. Then we are going to get some extra little bonus things here. We're going to get an insignia of our guild. Now, this is specifically Izzet. To make it more setting agnostic, I'm simply going to put guild insignia. A set of artisan's tools, so we'll get weaver's tools. The charred and twisted remains of a failed experiment. So we're going to treat this like a trinket. And so we have I guess like a failed gadget of some kind. And this is going to be trinket number something. And so let's have Ivalon, can you please, Ivalon, if you would like, I would normally ask for a 100-sided die because there's 100 trinkets. But Ivalon, if you want to roll 2d10 instead, the first 10 will be the 10's place and the second will be the 1's place to give us our trinket. All right, a 49. There we go. Hammer, block, and tackle. A set of common clothes. And a belt pouch containing 5 gold. We get a background feature called Urban Infrastructure. The popular conception of the Izzet League is based on mad inventions, dangerous experiments, and explosive blasts. Much of that perception is accurate, but the League is also involved with mundane tasks of construction and architecture, primarily in crafting the infrastructure that allows Ravnikins to enjoy running water, levitating platforms, and other magical and technological wonders. You have a basic knowledge of the structure of buildings, including the stuff behind the walls. You can also find blueprints of a specific building in order to learn the details of its construction. Such blueprints might provide knowledge of entry points, structural weaknesses, or secret spaces. Your access to such information isn't unlimited. If obtaining or using the information gets you in trouble with the law, the guild can't shield you from the repercussions. Now, as a part of the background here as well, there are Izzet Guild spells. For you, the spells on the Izzet Guild spell table are added to the spells of your spellcasting class. Your DM might allow this or disallow this. However, as our primary level is Ranger, we are not going to get any cantrips, and so we may be able to take something like Chaos Bolt, Unseen Servant, or Create and Destroy Water instead of a Ranger spell. So there's something there to consider. Now, nicest pancake. Oh my gosh, it's pretty magical, you could say. Yeah, we disavow you for meddling in that case. You won't feed me chicken, will you? Who? Who would do such a thing, nicest? If it's me, it darn tootin's gonna get cooked all the way through, because that's how you got to do it. Oh, Mom will. Okay, all right. Now our personality traits. Let's get to know our character. Again, we don't have numbers up here. Numbers are irrelevant for this character at this point in time because we want to get to know who he is. And who he is, the numbers aren't going to have an impact on how we meet this person. Personality trait number 2. I get really excited about my ideas and I can't wait to talk about them and start putting them into practice and tinkering with them. And I want to tell you about how exciting it all is, exclamation point. you'll notice there's no commas because that's conveying the point. You're really excited about my ideas, and I can't wait to talk to people about them and start putting them into practice and tinkering with them, and I want to tell you how exciting it all is. He's a talker. Exactly, Shin. Exactly. You got it. He's exuberant. He is effervescent. And number 4, I do what my gut tells me. Yeah, I mean, you should be able to sell micro machines in a commercial, Pneumonica. And it's a beautiful roleplay prompt. So we have someone who says, I'm going to go with my gut. Or in this case, like, whatever. Maybe we have, for a Tortle, we have something about our shells. But I do what my gut tells me. So we have our personality. Now, what is his ideal? Discovery. Every experiment has the potential to reveal more secrets of the multiverse. We're all about the discovery. There's all sorts of worldliness out there. Like ShamWows. The shell knows. There you go, Lightning Dragon. The shell knows. How does a Tortle Ranger carry his bow and quiver? Yes. That's maybe there's like a special rigging or a special belt or something along the lines, Mom, to be able to hoist it. Or depending, as we are a Beastmaster Ranger, we might just have our beast be a companion and carry that stuff that we just simply grab. Yeah, I got this! Exactly, and then bounds forward. What is his bond to the world? Number 4. I have the schematics for an invention that I hope to build one day once I have the necessary resources. We want to contribute to the world. You know, we have a weaver. Is this prior to the cotton gin, and has he found a way to make the cotton gin? Is this... has he invented the shuttlecock? Hey, class? I see you laughing. No laughing in class. So he may have invented the shuttlecock, and it wants to revolutionize the textile industry. He is an inventor. Now, he is proficient with weaver's tools as well. Kung Fu Grasshopper, thank you for finding us, giving us a chance. I hope you had an awesome time with us. And what is our character's flaw? Because we are all flawed creatures. That's right, I'm talking to you. You're flawed. That's fine. We're all flawed. So what do we do with that flaw? Well, what do we do with his flaw? His flaw is number 4. I tend to ignore sleep for days when I'm conducting research, often at the expense of my own health and safety. So he probably is going to have problems with exhaustion. It's the little wiffle dart that they used to play badminton with. I don't know what Maddie's thinking of. No, it's the name of the thing in weaving that goes back and forth, and it takes the string. You send. I know it's a badminton term. I think it's a badminton term as well, because that's the point of it. It's like it's named because it goes back and forth across the textile. Oh, is it just a shuttle? Well, what was I thinking? Apparently badminton. But no, there's a name for that goes back and forth. I swore that was it. I seen it. I say you, I seen it. Oh, Wanted. Yeah, I like that one. I mean, curving bullets is ridiculous, but that's the kind of ridiculousness that I can, like, you know, I can have a lot of fun with. If you saw the movie Wanted, it's the name of the sharp object Wesley is trying to catch during his assassin training. Yeah, see? The Forgotten One backing me up. Thank you. Look, trying to get me to go, oh my. Oh my. So, ta-da, everyone, we have a character. Wasn't that easy? We have someone that we know about his history, his methodology, how he speaks, his impulsiveness, some of his phrases. We have his hopes and his dreams. And we know that he pushes the border. He goes without sleep. This is our second character of the night, Custo, so this is our final fourth character. Yeah, that was the one, Mom. Now, ooh, something fun. We can get some contacts here. And this is a part of, like, the expanded, you know, world building and development here. And so if we're going to roll this, why not have other people in our Inventors Guild? Or whatever this turns out to be. Roll twice on the Izzet contacts for an ally and a rival. So we have an ally, a rival, and then once for a non-guild contact. So we'll just say non-guild contact. And so can I have Fluffy Sheep who says, bah, Fluffy Sheep, can you please roll a D8 for our ally? A 7. Gracie, will you please roll a D8 for our rival? And then Lightning Dragon, will you roll a D10 for our non-guild contact? Our non-guild is on an 8, and then Gracie's going to re-roll into a 3. All right. So an ally, number 7, as an attendant, I had a fierce rivalry with another attendant for our supervisor's attention. And so in this case, our ally, if we had a rivalry with another attendant, well, that could just automatically bleed over. However, our rival is a sibling, is the head of a laboratory doing exotic research. So we have a sibling rivalry. We have an ally who might have been the supervisor, you know, and maybe the supervisor, like, through, like, they had to accept the reports that the rival was putting in, even though the rival was being a jerk. And then our non-guild contact is 8. I have a cousin in the, well, I'll put in brackets, cult of Rakdos. But it would be an equivalent like a circus or a death cult. Things that are very common and in between those two. I have a contact, I have a cousin in the cult of Rakdos, and we get along quite well. This is going to lead to a ton of world building for being a ranger and for having this kind of extra step put in. Okay. Congratulations. Congratulations, we have a character. Now let's find out. We know who we are. What are we as a Tortle? And we're going to go to the Tortle package for this and learn about Tortles. Our strength increases by 2, and our wisdom increases by 1. Our speed is 30 feet, giving us a 15 climb, 15 swim, 0 fly. We do get claws as natural weapons, which deal 1d4 plus strength, slashing. We can hold our breath for an hour. We have natural armor. And that can be accented by shell defense, which can increase our AC by 4, but we lose the ability to do other things. Then we are going to get proficiency in the survival skill. And down here, we can speak, read, and write Aquan and Common. Now, do you see why I don't start with the race? Especially for the type of workshop that we want to run. This doesn't really tell us anything. There's nothing that's necessarily compelling about this information. This is a Tortle. Well, a Tortle is a Tortle. We have a particular one who's our character. Now that we're an Izzet engineer, now that we are a Tortle, we are going to make a ranger, and we're going to make 3 levels of ranger, and add in our subclass as well. We are a D10 hit die class, meaning that we have 3 D10, as we're 3 levels of ranger. We have proficiencies in light, medium, and shields. Light armor, medium armor, and shields. Simple weapons and martial weapons. Simple, martial. Saving throws are strength and dexterity. So we're a physical character. And then we get to choose 3 skills from animal handling, athletics, insight, investigation, nature, perception, stealth, and survival. Going by what we know of him, he's a weaver. He has some sort of blueprints for a discovery. He studies animals. He's a beast master, but he also hunts beasts. And mind you, too, I mean, this could very well be, again, it's the veterinarian that serves animals, but also has to destroy them. This is someone who works in a city as a someone who works in a city as an exterminator. You know, you might have a pet at home. In fact, you could have even trained your cat to eat roaches or whatever. Like, go sick them and eat them, or your dog to eat bugs. And yet, in an urban environment, you go out and you exterminate other beasts, which are these vermin, which could also include rats. Although a rat may not be a rat, but a swarm of rats, and not just one swarm of rats, but 4 swarms of rats that are one swarm of rats with a mirror image spell and polymorph. Whew. I had to breathe. You want the Tortle's companion to be a hare? I don't see why not. You see how this comes full circle from everything we talk about at the table? Even table talk can weave itself into the story. And also, role-playing, right? You gotta speak quickly. We have ideas. Dreams. I tend to ignore sleep for days when conducting research. So I have schematics. We already have investigation, so I'm not worried about that. I imagine we do have a Smarty Shell. So we probably do have a knowledge of nature. We have someone who... we have someone who trusts his gut. I think instinct is the way to go forward on that. Once they get close, he shoots them with the bow. It's a rabbit, so it has to be a gray hair. But if it's old, is it that old gray hair just ain't what it used to be, ain't what it used to be, ain't what it used to be? And animal handling as well, Shin? Okay. He's a Beastmaster. I mean, if we take it, then that probably means that we don't need to take a spell that magically befriends animals to us. Though there is magic we could take that could befriend animals if we want to have a different skill instead. I don't know, you could take it 6 to 1 half, half dozen to the other. Make your hackles rise, they're hair raising. So, I mean, if you want to change it and move it to somewhere else, this isn't my character, this is our character. We can have fun with it. If we are doing a lot of inventing, this would be a case where perception could very well come into play, especially because of our background feature about finding hidden passages, examining blueprints, and things along those lines. So if you want, we can move animal handling to perception. I think that would work. I don't think he's particularly stealthy, especially if he's more of an urban dweller. We already have investigation from our background. That gave us investigation and arcana. Gracie, you're fine. Don't worry about it. This is, we're throwing this, as Raz was saying, we're throwing the spaghetti at the fridge and we're seeing if it sticks to the door. Alright, so we have our skills. We're going to get some starting equipment. We're going to get some scale mail or leather armor. I don't see why we wouldn't want scale mail. 2 short swords or 2 simple melee weapons. We have claws. We can go 2 short swords. Unless you want to replace it with something else. I don't know, if he has to like knock down drywall, maybe he has a... If it's a simple melee, then maybe he has a light hammer. And that's also 1d4, and that's bludgeoning. And what would be another simple weapon he'd have? Maybe a quarterstaff. You got to tap on things. Finally finished the art commission? Well, congrats on that then, Frog. Now I can do other things, all the things. By the way, D-Frog, congrats for getting into D&D time tomorrow. What would be another simple weapon he might have? You're really excited about my ideas. Can't wait to start practice. Every experiment has the potential to reveal more secrets. I have schematics. I ignore sleep for days. I have an ally, a sibling, and I have a cousin that's in a very, a very interesting circus. Yeah, a spear could work. Sure. And that's a 1d6 weapon. Piercing. Okay. A Dungeoneer's pack or an Explorer's... You know, none of our characters have dark vision except the one that got it through their subclass. But they wouldn't normally. If we have someone who travels the land, searching far and wide, for beast mastery, to understand the power that's inside, then we probably have an explorer's pack. Well, I don't know, Dungeoneer. If he's in an urban environment, he crawls through. I mean, Izzet has boiler works and all sorts of stuff. Maybe a dungeoneering pack would actually be more apropos for him. Dungeoneer's pack. Then we have a longbow, and that's a D8 with a quiver with 20 arrows. And there we go. We have our favorite enemy. We have our natural explorer. We have our fighting style. And so really, we're just looking at spell casting, which is going to be a result of our stats. And we get some spell slots by 3rd level. We have 3 level 1 spell slots. And we'll also know down here, we cast spells as a ranger. Spellcasting abilities, Wisdom. We have 3. And then we know 2 spells at 2nd level and 3 spells at 3rd. So level 2 we would get a spell. Level 2 we get a spell, and then level 3 we get a spell. Ta-da! And now let's discover what we get for being a Beastmaster. Come up here. Ranger's Companion. You gain a beast companion that accompanies you on your adventures and is trained to fight alongside you. And there's some qualifications for the type of beast, CR 1/4 or lower, and then you get to add a couple things to it. So you get this. If you do not have the updated player's handbook that was a part of the gift set forward, some of the stuff in Beastmaster has been adjusted. So you would want to print the errata and make sure you're referencing the latest information for this ranger build. Hey, Mr. Wolfie. Well, Mr. Enfer. Speaking of wolves in chat, hello to you. A heart for a heart. There's my griffin. Oh, Pokemon as D&D characters? Oh, cool, D-Frog. Is that something that you can share, or is it a private? And I understand if it's a private commission. So we get a Ranger's Companion, and you know what? I mean, if you want it to be a Runny Babbit on this character sheet, hey, look at that. You could use this for familiars, pets, or Beastmaster companions and the like. You can use it for mounts if you're a Paladin, or something else. And so we could put in the status of a rabbit here if we wanted to. So cool. We've made our ranger. However, we are going to multiclass. We're going to multiclass into a rogue. So we need to make sure that we have a minimum dex and wisdom of 13, and then rogue a dex of 13. Now, of course, we can accomplish this with a standard array, but we do need to consider that to have this multi-class, we're going to have 13s here in order to splash in some rogue. And when we do splash rogue, the class features that we get aren't everything that's a level 1 rogue. We will get light armor, well, that's redundant, one skill from the class's skill list, and Thieves' Tools proficiency. So Weaver's Tools, Thieves' Tools, and then we are going to get a rogue. We're going to get a rogue skill. And what here would really speak to his continued personality? You know, if we need to get into places, Thieves' Tools, if we're an exterminator, if we're trying to hunt vermin and other beasts. Oh, pardon me. Who knows how to makes you burp? There's no warning label on these cans. Literally nowhere it says it makes you burp. So, choose from acrobatics, athletics, deception, insight, intimidation, investigation, perception, performance, persuasion, sleight of hand, and stealth. Which of these would speak to our character as this kind of weaver, exterminator, this urban turtle who can read blueprints and has blueprints, who's very excitable. Oh, thief weaver, I believe you can get me through the night. Open up lock cages? No one cages nature. You know, I don't see him as really... I don't think charisma is going to be terribly high for him. Persuasion for guild politics, perhaps. You know, we were trying to get a supervisor's attention. We do have a rival. That's a sibling that's the head of another laboratory, or in this case, the head of a guild or a hunter's lodge that's doing some kind of research. So it could play into our sibling rivalry. It could go with our own ambitions in our own, like, exterminators guild. Or it could even be, I have a cousin in this exotic circus. And we get along quite well. Maybe we picked up a trick from our friend in the Rakdos, in the cult of Rakdos, or the equivalent. I wonder, would sleight of hand, if you are DMs and we're dealing with things like pipes, like plumbing pipes, or like making things, either weaving, like would you consider things like weaving, or an extension of use of thieves' tools as inventors' tools as a sleight of hand, because it represents manual dexterity? Or would sleight of hand allow you to kind of like reach up and like turn knobs behind a wall or something? Because I think you might have a practical application for it as well. I know that sleight of hand is more than just picking pockets or doing a card trick. Sounds more like raw deck, says Lightning Dragon. Okay. Well, then let's give persuasion, so we can try and we have the aspirations in our guild. Let's see if we can't. Wildfire, you think it would be used like that? Well, in that case, then Wildfire, because you made a point with persuasion. Do you think this character would have persuasion or sleight of hand? I'm fine with either personally. I see either of them as being extensions of the character quite well. Former? Okay, so we're gonna stick with persuasion. Unless it's 4 a.m., so I might have mixed up the order, but very good. We are a D8 hit die class as a rogue, and so we get 1 D8, and if you notice over here, I'll zoom in so you can see. I love this character sheet because if you do multiclass, at least into 2, you can keep your hit die. You can keep your hit die different. All right, Gracie. Hey, have a great night. Thank you for Gracie. Thank you for the re-up, and thank you for being here and chatting and participating. I very much appreciate it. So, cheers to you. I'll see you on Discord and/or back in the workshop tomorrow. I guess later tonight, right? Waka waka. Oh, sure. Here. Permit. And you can put it in our creations on Discord as well, Defroggotten One. Defroggotten One. There we go. We are also... We don't get equipment, but we do get expertise. Choose 2 of your skill proficiencies or thieves' tools in a skill. We are also going to get sneak attack. And we can sneak attack at a 1d6. 1d6, and we're also going to learn Thieves' Cant. But we don't yet have Cunning Action. Pardon me. Now, for expertise, do you think that he would have Thieves' Tools and another skill? Or would you prefer that he actually has two skill expertises? Investigation, I think, would be a good one for him to have expertise in, because he is a planner, he reads plans, he calculates, he invents, and a lot of that is off of investigation. I think that's a core to this person. Though, whoops. Would he be good with Thieves' Tools? Or perhaps, if he goes out into the forests, probably looking for... If he's in the forest and he's a weaver, let alone an exterminator, he's either looking... he's looking to harvest flax or cotton or other plants for their textile purposes, or he's gone out to hunt or to exterminate or something. You think a skill? So which skill? I think survival might work. Perception. Perception would be a good one, I guess. Knowledge nature would actually be able to be very useful, since that could identify textile plants or useful things, or even knowledge nature above survival. Knowledge nature would be, you know, well, I guess we already have nature, at least for beasts, when it comes to our favorite enemy. We don't have a proficiency in stealth, so we can't be an expert in it. Oh, you know what? He does what his gut tells him. What about investigation and insight? He's just intuitive. I'd give it to him in con, or maybe if you were approaching me with this character and you say I get expertise, could I get expertise, or can I get that in con save if I have to stay up late on many nights because I've had practice doing it? I may be tempted as a DM to let you do that. Perception and insight instead of I think there's a stronger case for investigation because of just how much he makes up blueprints. Well, no, not expertise. It wouldn't be expertise. It would just be taking con as a proficiency. But in so much it's staving off exhaustion from not sleeping. In that instance. But he's all about schematics and planning. He experiments a lot. You know, he's a part of this family that just does a lot of tinkering. But hey, I mean, if other things are sounding good to you, I'm sorry if I'm sounding like a bully. This is not my character. This is our character. That said, I'm seeing a mix. Perception and insight, survival and nature. Alright, I'm gonna have to make an executive decision then, because I'm not getting consensus. So let's go with one of each. You say survival nature because the experimented research could be focused on plants. Okay. Wildfire was recommending perception and insight. So what I will do is I will Solomon this baby in half, and let's go with insight because he very much trusts his gut. And then let's go with nature so he can identify materials more easily. And there we go. So congratulations, we are a rogue as well. And now what we have to do, after all of this, is finally put our scores in place. We have the standard array 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. And we can ask ourselves now, what would we like to do in regards to this? Now, if we're a Beastmaster, oftentimes our Beast is going to be the one doing attacking, because the Beast can out-damage us. You know, not that we can't be strong or we can't be dexterous, but in many cases, we are... in many cases, we are going to be like a bulwark of some kind. And what's interesting, if we do shell defense, I guess depending on the beast and your dungeon master, if you get a beast with like a run-by attack that AOs can't be taken against it, you might just be able to turtle up and your little rabbit like dashes out of your shell, decapitates someone, and then goes back into your shell where you have a massive 21 AC. Maybe low strength? Actually, I guess in that regard, we don't wear scale mail because we have our shell. I guess your DM could replace that with something else. Mech Stomp. I'm a D&D noob starting a group. What program is this? This is simply the player's handbook and a character sheet. We're sitting down and building a character together. Though, if you like the character sheet, you can find that. You can find that on our Discord. And especially, we welcome new players to the hobby. And if you have questions, we have a mentor group. You can ask about, you know, balancing combats, or what does this mean, or any of this. Shin and Mech, thank you very much for the follow. And it is a pleasure to meet a newcomer to the hobby. But yeah, we might be able to withdraw in our shell and have our tiny beast rush out and attack. Yeah, please do, Mech. Look, we were all new at some point too, so never feel intimidated. Like, I don't know, are they going to judge me for asking, like, what does AC mean? We would be happy to answer those questions. Always ready. Absolutely, Pneumonica. That's why I get kicked out of buffets. I'm always ready for more. So Wildfire, you're thinking an 8, 14, 12, 15, 13, 10. Why the low strength? I'm not necessarily against it, but why would strength be the dump stat on this character? What, I would almost see this as, I feel like charisma should be I think charisma would be the dump stat as well. Well, I mean, he likes other people, but yeah, I mean, he's an animal person, goes out and harvests plants. Ooh, pardon. That being said, he probably has to carry a lot of plants back, or animal pelts and such. I don't know. I think that massive bulk. I think traipsing around and harvesting animals and plants would give him more of a strength. Now, of course, if you're building a Tortle character, you have a naturally high weight. You can absolutely have an 8 strength, because it's just presumed your body can only carry extra from your body weight equal to what that proportion is. I'm definitely not against giving him like that 13 in wisdom. He may not necessarily have to be the best at wisdom. A 15 intelligence. don't know. What if we did... Because remember, we have to have a 13 in Wisdom and a 13 in Dex in order to be able to pull this off. If we went... I'm sorry. Oh, this is going to have to be a minimum of 13, though. So if we had that the minimum, and we went with... Well, he has... Wildfire, the persuasion is going to take care of that. I don't know if he is naturally charismatic across the board. Well, yeah, so Fluffy, his wisdom could be the 15 or the 14. I mean, if we want, we could put 14 wisdom and 15 intelligence. And if we went 10 constitution and 8 charisma, this would still mean... actually, we could even put the 12 in wisdom if we wanted to. Because our +1 would give us the minimum wisdom from our racial bump. But for Wildfire, you made a good point. But what this would mean is he's good at persuasion tactics. He's not good at everything else universally. And I do want to assure any of you playing out there, it is absolutely okay to have a proficient skill in a dump stat. It simply means that you targeted being good at that one thing instead of being broadly accessible to all the disciplines that it could fall into. So we could even put wisdom. We could put wisdom there to that 12. Go what? I guess 13 strength, 14 dex. Or we could go 13 con, but I don't know if he's particularly hardy. He lives in a city, so he would have access, and he also has various curatives that he might be able to make for himself through potions or something. Honestly, with Weaver's tools and all this, as a DM, I might be willing to float him an herbalism kit proficiency. That's just me. But we're not going to go with the what ifs and if I was the DM, because that's not the exercise. I don't know, so what about this as a setup? Because he would still be good at persuasion for guild politics. But I don't think... he has his own personal ambition through the guild, but he wants to be independent with his invention. I just don't see him lying or anything to the guild members, Wildfire. Though, if you have a counter, please share it, because I don't want you to feel like I'm bullying you or I'm trying to force something. Make him have a con dump stat? Hey, well, something might have happened. Maybe we're caught in an explosion. We can give him a con dump stat if you want. Give him a little bit better. Give him a little bit better charisma, and give him some negative hit points. Because something did explode. By the way, since we're on here, what is this failed gadget that could have perhaps led either to his ruined health or this grand invention? What was his slip on the toilet moment for the flux capacitor? Let's go to the trinkets. And this was number 49. A silver spoon with an M engraved on the handle. And if we don't want to say engraved, maybe, I don't know, like lightning arced an M into a silver spoon. But this is something that has, it was a failed gadget, it was a failed experiment, and this could have been something that caused a disaster. He will have a relatively high AC. It just means, though, if that AC is surpassed, then we'll go down quicker. But I don't think that's a problem because he was brought up in a city environment. He is more of an academic. He goes out into the woods, but he probably has all of the precautions. He hasn't needed to develop natural immunities or things like that. Honestly, an 8 constitution could just mean he has bad allergies. or like a low level of asthma. Alright, so if we do this, that satisfies our 13 dex, and this satisfies our 13 wisdom, because racially that goes to that, and then we actually have a high strength. And why having a high strength is fine, dex, dex we can use to shoot arrows. It won't really aid us too much in armor, though I guess we could wear armor if we really wanted to. And remember, while our dex bonus is a +2, if we're shooting a bow, this is actually going to be a +4. I'm sorry, this is going to be a +6 to hit with our longbow, whereas everything else is going to be a +4 for strength. Or if we wanted to wield something with finesse, it'd be a +4 as well. This is going to give him 4 strength, 2 athletics, 4 saving throws, and 2 down the line, a -1 con. So he's what? He's the turtle from Sly Cooper. He's kind of a frail boy. There's nothing wrong with that. 2, 2, 2. Boy, now that I said that, I am envisioning this character like what's the turtle's name from Sly Cooper? Arcana's 4, Investigation's 4, Nature is going to be 6 because that's an expertise. Insight is going to be 5 because that's expertise. Perception 3, Survival 3, 1s and everything else. Charisma is 0 down the line, and Persuasion will be a +2. Our passive Perception will be a 13 because that's 10 plus our Perception modifier. That represents our natural awareness and saves us a ton of dice rolls. Our armor class is X because it depends on what we're doing with our armor. Have we withdrawn? Is this normal? Are we wearing a shield? We can wear a shield with this too. We can go spear and shield and have a shield add into things. Initiative is a +2. Now, for our math, we get all 10 of our first level hit points from Ranger. Then our other 2 levels of Ranger is half +1 of our hit dice. Unless your DM says otherwise. Then for our first level of Ranger, you do not get the maximum 8. This is still half +1. You only get that on your first character level. Then we are going to have bonus hit points equal to all of our levels times our Constitution modifier. So this is actually going to take -4 hit points. This becomes a 5. This becomes 12. So we have 22. We have 27 -4. We have 23 hit points at level 4. And he is no longer a set of stats. Our Ranger has earned a name. Attacking with all these are going to give a +2. We have no cantrips, but we do have 3 first level spell slots. We come down here, spell casting. Oh, I skipped that. Oh, shame on me. We attack off of wisdom if we need to with our spells. That's a +3. And to resist that is an 11 or greater because we simply add 8. So that's an 11. That's a +3. And what was I missing? Anything else? No. Those are, aside from choosing our Ranger spells. Ta-da! And if we go by the rules as been allowed by the DM, we might be able to take then also one of these Izzet spells. Like Create or Destroy Water. Unseen Servant could be interesting, especially as a Beastmaster. Not that you can guide it like a beast, but, it kind of... If you're out harvesting, you can have your servant help you out there. Or Chaos Bolt as a first level spell to replace. Vaolin the Wise. Now, who calls him the Wise? Himself? Is that a title that he's earned? Where did the Wise come into play? Oh, that's right. We get... no, we're a fixed list. Never mind. It's not a spells prepared. TJ Tortoiseshell? What does the TJ stand for? TJ's the name of the tortoise, and the tortoise and the hare. Turkamel the Infirm. Is that because he had an accident with the spoon with the engraving, and he's always I don't know, maybe inhaled some lead or something, or some silver dust from the spoon. Turkamel the Infirm. Or is he smoking a brand of cigarette? Self-nickname or used as an ironic term from the accident. Ah, yeah. Yeah, I was real wise there in putting that spoon in the microwave. What's a microwave? I don't know, but apparently I invented it and figured out what you shouldn't do with it. Vaolin the Tortle in a half shell. He is teenage still. Surely, Custos, that's a tried and true method of coming up with fantasy names, though. I absolutely, like, I caught on. I saw that, and I'm like, I get what's going on. I get the inspiration. I look around, and, I mean, if you want, if we go with, his name could be Lachoo, Lachoo from Cola O. Or maybe his friends just call him Big K for no reason. But looking around you and finding inspiration like that is a tried and true fantasy name generator method. You said he is shell shocked? Well, I mean, he was involved in an accident. All right, well, I'll tell you what. I'll play around with the names, and we'll have some fun with this. However, it is 4:30, and I got to get going. I'm going to do a faceplant into a pillow here.